Oh, didn't see you come in.
Sorry about that.
We were just warming up.
Welcome to Castle Mac.
Yay.
That was our imitation of lizard folk.
Uh-huh.
So just be
Naturally.
prepared.
And an invitation to join us in Lizard Folk.
Is ancient Yuan-Ti speak.
So tonight we will be starting a new chapter for Tuesday nights. We'll be doing Ghosts of Salt Marsh. Ghosts of Salt Marsh is designed, I think it's focused, I think, our sessions, they set in Greyhawk. You can set it anywhere, of course. In this case, we're going to be setting it in my own homebrew world, Maladros. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the world because it could be boring to a lot of people. I think instead I will just let you all and the viewers kind of experience through your character's eyes.
Yep.
That way there's a little more to explore, a little more,
Classic show, don't tell.
Exactly.
Shell.
So, I'm just going to start and just talk a little bit about magic in the world, just real briefly, and then we'll just kind of jump into some narrative flashbacks, a little bit of background on the characters, not too deep, and then we'll jump right in. The other thing is, tonight actually is not going to be any of the Salt Marsh adventure.
So
it's just
get out.
It's just an intro adventure for two reasons. One, I didn't have the book until today.
Right.
And two, I wanted to give other people out there who are watching or who want to run their own streams at least a little bit of a lead time so they could still watch this and not have anything spoiled
No spoilers
on their side. So, on Maladros, all magic comes from the Aether. Whether it's divine, whether it's arcane, whether it's the quintessence, all find their foundations in the Aether. More than any other planet in the cosmos, the concentration of Aether is more focused around Maladros than anywhere else, which is a reason why it has attracted many beings of power, gods, good and evil alike, and all of them vie for control of the world. So we will see the magic kind of in different ways. In fact, the characters that are here will be using it in different foci, so to speak. But it is not, what I've listed is not the absolute list of all the way the magic is used. It's just the general known uses of magic in the world. So the adventure is set in the prelacy of Del Shalon. It is in the old world. The old world is where all life began on the planet and spread out from there. Science and religion seem to go hand in hand and heavily influence the society and the people of the prelacy. Arcane magics are frowned upon as unpredictable and dangerous.
Probably not, though.
The gods can be trusted to administer power among their followers, and science is founded in the facts and proofs and cannot be contested. Arcane magics wielded by those without governorship is reckless. Therefore, the prelacy keeps a watchful eye on these arcane wielders. Within the prelacy lies the capital of Moxlien, a fortress city that stands as a guardian in the mountain pass of the Craigs of Godeb, where the Ankaran Way and east-west highway bisects the continent. Through the rocky crags, the fortress, these lands and beyond. The fortress is a gate to all passage. Anyone traveling from the east to west has to go through Moxlien. It is this where our heroes have converged.
I wouldn't say hero.
I would.
Not yet.
I would. I would say that about myself.
Same.
Guy, let's start with you. So, life has not been easy for you. From the brutal steppes of Korgir, to the arenas of Faramore, to the Harpathian Sea, you have struggled to find your place in this world. Your recent stint aboard the Dark Star ship, a smuggling ship, you had some hard lessons. Good friends are hard to find, and they're harder to keep alive. You decided about 1.5 years ago to abandon the life of a sailor and marine, but it still beckons you. You yearn for the open sea, but you also are fearful of it. Your last job as a mercenary guard led you into Moxlien, a place where you swore you would never visit. The bounties on your head make it very dangerous for you to be here, but you are here on official business and have documents to prove it, so you feel fairly secure in that. As you make your way through the streets of Moxleyan at night, it's cold, it's wet, it's raining. Your eye is drawn to a small store on the left side of one of the streets. Lanterns are lit, there's not a lot of people out. As you kind of go up and look, it just looks like a shop with oddities and gewgaws and trinkets and stuff from different places. They look worthless for the most part. But leaning up against one of the showcases is a massive anchor of bronze wood gilded with brass fittings, and it has a partial name etched on it, as if, and much of the name is actually gone. It's like hard to read, and you kind of get closer, and you have dark vision, but it's still, you realize it's difficult to read. It says the, there's the letter C, there's a couple missing letters, the letter Q, a couple more letters, O-R apostrophe S, V, a couple more letters, T-U-E. You kind of look at it, you're not the brightest, but you're not stupid. But you sit there and you're just trying to fumble through it in your head, what it means. There's something about it that kind of rings a bell, you're not really sure. You look at it, and something about the anchor, you just want it. There's something about it, just, you're not sure if you're going to have your own ship one day, and maybe this would be the anchor that you use for that ship. Either way, you kind of press your face even closer, and you kind of squint, putting your hand on the bag of gold that you just received. By the way, you guys all have 100 gold.
Hell yeah, I do.
I'm gonna quit here. Quit while I'm ahead. I'm cashing out.
Invest.
Yeah, I'm done.
But you kind of feel the weight of the bag, and you look at the price in the window. It's really expensive for some reason. It's a lot of metal, and you don't think you can afford it. You kind of look around.
Look both ways.
It looks kind of clear, and you're like, you could crack this glass very easily, grab it, and be off. If the authorities catch you, you're kind of screwed. And as you're thinking about that, this bright white light streaks across the city from above and cuts over the top of you and keeps going. And as you kind of look up, you see one of the handful of sky ships orbiting around the city. And you can see kind of on the tops of the outer edges of the ship, you see these four almost like lanterns. But they are beaming bright light down like spotlights into the ship. And as you kind of step back and you look around, you can see a couple of them. There's like maybe half a dozen around the city. And they seem to be just patrolling the outer edges of the city. And just almost like you would see like helicopters in current day, shining spotlights down. That little bit of kind of reality check about where you are makes you take a step back. You kind of breathe deep, look in, and all of a sudden, the glass shatters. The anchor, thunk, hits the bottom, and it kind of tips back and forth, and then just falls forward, and you just catch it in your hand, and you start laughing. And you realize for a second, you're like, how did that happen? And all of this kind of happening at the same second. The door to the establishment had flung open with incredible force, and when the door came out, it hit the kind of the outer edge of the shop, it hit the frame of the glass, and that's what started this whole thing. And you're still kind of confused, and then as you kind of look into the doorway, two figures come darting out of it and bowl right into you, and all three of you and the anchor go into a heap on the ground. You're pissed. You look over at the two, and there's a part of you, like you recognize them, you think. One is Ilthus, and the other is Doran. Two of your shipmates who died on the Dark Star. And you start to reflect back on how that happened. And you were on the Dark Star with a group of other smuggling ships making your way, making a run. And you were being pursued by Prelacy warships. And you were the last ship that was kind of lagging behind, and one of the Prelacy ships had a trebuchet, and they launched one of their alchemical bombs. And it hit the side of the ship. An explosion blew you and the other two off the ship. You got caught up in a bunch of the rigging, and you hit the water, and you were trying to keep yourself. You were actually an excellent swimmer, like one of the best. But your two best friends got catapulted off. You could see they were still alive. They had bits of bone, bits of wood in their shoulder, but they were both unconscious. They were starting to slip under the waves. You just struggled, and you knew that if you tried to swim towards them, you were going to die. You had to make a choice, and your friends sank under the sea. Mm-hmm. From that time on, you never wanted to go into the ocean. Every time you went in, you kept seeing their faces staring at you as they went under the sea. The two that you're looking at before you, you realize that's not them, but they do look like them. But they're kind of like, it's like reversed of who they were. In fact, like you look at a halfling, who is Dylan, and he's got auburn hair, but he had white hair. You look at a half-elf, he has white hair. So like their roles are reversed. And in fact, the half-elf looks at you and kind of gives you kind of a sly smile. Where Elthus was a douche. He never smiled. He was way too serious. The other one doesn't look super serious, but he looks annoyed at what you just did to him. And then it kind of all this information just kind of like rolls back, and you realize, no, it's not them. Of course, it's not them. But you're a sailor. Not only are you a sailor, but you were a barbarian. Omens mean a lot to you. Mm-hmm. Curses, those type of things. Some kind of divine providence, you're not really sure. You feel like you were meant to be here. And you look at the two of them, and again, you know that's not your friends. You pick up the anchor in your hands, and you look past them, and down the hall of the establishment that they just came out, you see 3 soldiers of the prelacy with weapons drawn coming towards them. You're like, I couldn't protect them, my friends. I'll protect these 2. You stand up, and you pick up because it's just in your hand, and you just do a 360 to get momentum with it, and you start swinging it toward the entrance of the door, and we stop there.
Tight. Oh, Cranio Dad, thank you, dude. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know where they are. I'll find them. You keep going. I'll get them.
So Tolbar,
Man, 5 months. Thanks.
you are a long way from home. You grow up literally almost on the other side of the world from where you are now. A small halfling community. Oh my God, it was boring. It was painfully boring. It was slow. There was nothing enjoyable about it. You wanted to leave. The problem was you were never really good at anything. You were good at talking to people, but you had no real marketable skills, like adventures and stuff.
Sorry, we're role playing. He's
Right.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to use my imagination, son,
I
so
apologize.
something fictional.
So adventurers would come through because there were ruins. Because this actually was like a frontier town. This halfling community, and they would come through and search various ruins that were in the Everwood, which were kind of north of where you were. And you always tried to tag along. Never, and no one ever took you because it's like you weren't good with a sword or bow. You weren't like a scout. You were good at eating and talking, and that was in drinking, you know. And your parents were bee farmers, or honey farmers, specifically.
I thought you were saying beef.
Armors.
That's what I heard at first.
They were beef armors.
Beef farmers.
2 cows on each arm, like boxing gloves.
You know. And it was just, you absolutely had no desire. So, something happened after that. You ended up going with one of these adventuring groups out into the wilds, and one of the things that you always had to worry about where you were from specifically were, and this actually happens across the world. It happens it's more severe in different areas, are these events called aether storms. They are essentially magical storms that are, if they want to go over land, it's like a hurricane over land. And if you are out in the open, you're dead. And you were out on this expedition. I think there's a dwarf maybe with you. And he had this stone in his hand, and he was looking for something. And again, as you kind of think back, your memory on it is a little fuzzy. But you heard lightning and thunder cracking in the background, like really loud. And then your back was to it, and your head just dropped, and you just shook your head. You knew it was an aether storm. You knew you were dead. There was nothing you did. You looked around. There were some ruins and trees. You're like, the trees are going to get tore up, and they're just going to shred everyone. Well, that was about a year ago. Fast forward, you made your way out of Endor. You survived that somehow. Made your way across the Reach to the continent of Bramasa. You made your way along the Ankaran Way and ended up in the fortress of Moxilian. But you're here for a reason. You're here, you're searching for an ailment that you had as a result of that storm. But that ailment's a blessing and a curse. It gave you power. But you want more. You want to find another way. And the other problem is the power you got is kind of uncontrollable. Like, sometimes you can focus on it and make it work. Other times it just does what it wants. Luckily, at this point, no one has really been really harmed by the effects, but you have seen the potential of what it could be. So, you came to the Prelacies to try to find an answer, or try to find some answers to how to control this better. And you ended up trying to track down members of this group called the Primers Guild. The Primers Guild are legendary alchemists of the Prelacy. They use devices that are similar in composition to your ailment. And as you think about that, you're laying on the street, you push yourself up with your right hand, and your left hand pushes against the stone, and it's just stone against stone. And you still keep forgetting, and you look down at your hand, which you can barely move your fingers, and it's this white and gray marbled stone. Your hand was completely turned into it. But whatever turned it into it in that time, that you kind of have blanked out a little bit, is what gives you power, too. So you were hoping that the Primers Guild, these master alchemists, would be able to give you some insights. The problem is they are a very recluse group. You never be able to find any of them. Eventually, as you were kind of making your way through a market square, one of these individuals just approached you out of the blue, it seemed like. They said they'd heard about your request, and they wanted to help you if you helped them. They wanted to steal something from the Primers Guild, something very specific. Mm-hmm. And if you would help them steal from the Primers Guild, he would help you and maybe teach you how to control your abilities more. And you believed him. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. You did believe him. And as you kind of push your way up, you kind of look down, and you accomplished your goal. You stole what you wanted to steal, but those Prelacy soldiers bearing down on you, you're not escaped. You haven't escaped yet. You look over, and you see this half-orc who's just kind of grinning at you. Just kind of a goofy grin, just smiling like he knows you. Yeah, and I mean, you kind of give him like a what? Yeah. You're not really sure what to think, but he stands up with confidence and he starts swinging this anchor of all things. And you think he's swinging it at you, and you're about to, but you realize he swings it over your head, and he's swinging it at the Prelacy guards or soldiers that are chasing you. We'll stop there. Barrows.
Aye.
You were, in your youth, a petty thief, con artist.
Alleged.
Alleged. In the streets of Moxilian for many years, most of your youth, actually. One day you were approached by a Primers Guild alchemist. His name was Eris. Sorry, her name was Eris, A-R-I-S. She offered to feed and clothe you and provide room and board for you, and you lived on the streets, and it wasn't easy. And you were resistant to doing it, but you started thinking about it, like, Primers Guild, no one even knows where their guild hall is. Oh, I could make some money. I'm just going to play along with them. And she kept talking about unlocking your power and all this nonsense, and you kind of cast it aside as if it was nonsense. You were just going to gain their confidence and just rob them blind and probably leave the city. Because you definitely had ways to escape the city if you needed to, if you were being hunted. So, you obviously agreed, and once you got there and they started training you, it wasn't what you expected. they weren't training you on how to be an alchemist. They're training you how to use your body and your hands and how to tap into what they call the quintessence. So you know that the quintessence is, there are 5 alchemical components to the quintessence. There is flame, metal, stone, wind, right? No, not wind.
Water.
Water, thank you. Water and ether.
Ether.
Right. Ether is a derivative of the aether, and it's called the binding element. It's one of the components that, when all of those combine together, they make a pretty powerful combination. In fact, the master alchemists of the Primers Guild have these things called Q stones, or quintessence stones. And they are like these white and gray marbled stones that have like the purest energy of this alchemical, the alchemical processes kind of focus in them. And it allows them to do amazing things, but only the master alchemists have them. So you trained for years in them, and you kind of drank the Kool-Aid. You were like, this is ridiculous, this is kind of cool, oh wow, I'm kind of a badass. And for years you excelled in the training, but you hit a wall in the training, and they wouldn't train you any further. They just said you weren't ready to take it to the next step. So that pissed you off. And then you started kind of reverting back to your old ways. Well, if they won't teach me, I'll teach myself. I'm going to go steal some of their formulae, and I'll learn on my own. The problem was, the only way to get into the vaults was to have one of these Q stones. And you were in a quandary. You thought all these different ways left and right on how to do it, and you couldn't figure out a way to do it. Till one day, you were walking through the streets in the market, and you saw this halfling, and he was kind of adjusting the leather glove on his hand. You could see that his hand from about here down was made of the same looking stone as one of these Q stones. But his hand, and you kind of did a double take, you weren't sure what it was. You talked to him a little bit, just kind of casual conversation, and you realized that it was, at least one time, it was a Q stone. Somehow it had bonded himself to him. Again, nothing you've never heard of. It might be a way for you to get that door open. So you talked to him, and you convinced him that he had told you that he was trying to unlock more of his powers, and you're like, oh, well, I'm part of the Primers Guild. I can help you with that. If you help me steal these books, we can help each other. He was a little resistant at first, but he did finally agree. And the two of you well, you basically snuck him in through secret ways into the Primers Guild, made your way to the vault, opened the door, but then all kind of alarms went off. So yes, it got you in. So you reached in, you grabbed just whatever you could find in terms of books. There was a handful of alchemicals there, and you grabbed about 10 of them. 6 of them were effectively, they're called healing draughts. They're effectively greater healing potions. You grabbed those. You also grabbed 2 bindols potions, which are effectively sovereign glue from the DMG.
Tight.
And then you grabbed alkahest, which is an extremely powerful and dangerous acid. You knew they were in there. It was kind of part of your plan to grab the alkahest more than anything else. You think of it like the molecular acid from Aliens. That's how powerful it is. And like, it'll eat through just about anything. Like, if you put it on someone's flesh, like, their arm could fall off if it ate through. If they didn't try to neutralize it in some way.
Should be fine carrying around.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So as you grabbed everything and you were stepping out, you heard someone walking down the hall to your right, clicking of boots, and you kind of looked down there, and the figure stopped. And you just, and you see a woman with a big red mohawk, tattoos down her arms, Eris. So she stops, looks over at you, and kind of does a couple emotions go across her face. There's like surprise, confusion, and then anger as she realizes what you're doing. And her hands start to move. And as her hands start to move, she starts tracing some of the tattoos on her arm. And you see fire start to erupt from it. And she brings back her hand to lash out a lance of fire at you. And you instinctively just roll back out of the way, and the whip of flame goes over the top of your head, and you're like, oh shit, she just killed the halfling because he was right behind me. But he's short, and it went right over his head. In an instant, you grab him and go around the corner. Again, this is all part of your plan. He didn't know about your part of the plan. So you get out of line of sight, and you take one of the alkahest out, and you pour it onto the floor, onto the stone floor. Immediately, the stone floor starts to dissolve under your feet, and you see another hallway, an abandoned hallway below. You push him down. He grumbles at this. He hits the floor hard. You drop down, and you use your attunement to seal back up the hole and make it look like you didn't go through. You know it's only going to last a minute. Mm-hmm. But you dart down the hallway. It might be enough for her to run past and for you to escape. And you do. You make your way out of the Primers Guild, but you are... alarms had gone off, but unfortunately the pursuit of the Prelacy soldiers is fast on your heels. You make your way through the back streets, through this tiny little shop, and then you kick the door wide open to the shop. You hear glass shattering, you hear this ka-dunk noise, and kind of a grunt on the outside, and as you come out, you just run right into the chest of a half-orc, and all of you kind of go down. And again, as you're kind of getting your bearings, he just kind of looks at you, smiles, and again, you think he's swinging this anchor at you.
Whoa there, big feller!
But you realize he's swinging it over you at the guards that are coming through. And it's initiative.
Yeah.
You ready, Cameron Diaz?
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, my initiative with this character is a far cry from old Killian, I'm afraid.
All right, so just... let me see.
Okay.
So you actually have advantage on initiative.
Ooh.
Because the way I've described the scenario. They're not expecting you.
That made a big difference.
I'll call that why my initiative's so low.
Let's get Cameron Diaz in here for the close-up.
So they were just... yeah, you just put yourself just wherever you want is fine. And then...
in case.
All right. Man. So, second, let me pull them up here. I do really like this encounter builder.
Is it good?
It's actually
I
super
can't
helpful
wait
because
to try
it has all of the stuff sitting right in front of me, and it has
Yeah.
a little drop-down menu, and I can just pull them open
Oh, that's
and
nice.
look at them.
I can't wait to try it out.
I think they have the same decks. Okay, so let's do that. Gun.
20.
Okay. Dolbar.
12.
Okay. Barrows.
I'm a 5, mate.
Don't show yourself short. You look like a 7 to me.
But your dex is higher than theirs, so.
Aren't you a sweet babe?
Barrows. Dolbar. And gun. So gun.
All right. Well, I think Gunn will, as he's swinging the huge anchor, sort of grin at them.
In fact,
and be
you're
like,
also going to have advantage on this attack.
Oh, tight. I think he will grin at the two of them, be like, "Oh, I likes the looks of you," and then I'm gonna rage, and then swing into the first guard. I guess he's right here.
Yeah,
or
he's right
that-
there.
Yeah, I'll just swing that big old maul anchor at this guard right in front of me. Yeah, that's gonna be a 22, my dude.
That'll hit him.
Okay. All right, let me see. I gotta get used to all these new things. All right, I am raging, so that would be that's gonna be 15 damage, my man.
All right. As you swing the hammer, as you swing the anchor, he's just like, he doesn't even know what to think. He just sees a half orc. He probably didn't even see that you're a half orc. He just sees a huge anchor swinging at him, and he just kind of almost puts his hands up defensively. He's got his sword in one hand, and you hit him in the sternum, and you just hear crunching noises as he buckles over it and just rolls to the side of the shop.
Nice.
Dead.
I think with that, he will crash in. Or is there like a counter or something here? Because I think he's going to put like one foot up on it and just kind of stand up.
It's a real small shop. There's kind of like the display window there.
Yeah.
And there's like a counter along that side.
All right, I think he's just going to kind of smash through the display and get up to that one and sort of pull the anchor down so he's kind of choking up on it a little bit. Right. And he's just, I mean, he's in full rage mode. Nice. So he's baring his teeth. Just,
all right. Henchmen. They both move up to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
First one, a 16.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got spears. So you take 6 damage, so 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell you what the adjusted damage,
cool.
And the other one misses. So the one comes up, and you're still got the momentum of the anchor going, and he just kind of gets under your and just kind of cuts you along the side. Mm-hmm. Brings you don't wear armor. You're a barbarian. I don't think any of you wear armor, actually.
Oh, nice. So much for the beef armor. But I thought we were going to.
I know. Well,
I wear
they're weapons.
B armor.
Oh, okay.
And he just draws a bit of blood on your side, but as you swing, the other one just tries to get out of the way of the anchor as it swings around. The two of you hear movement.
I don't believe it.
Ruh-roh.
As 2 more come around. You're on your feet at this point. First one will be on Gross. An 11.
I'm a 16.
Okay. Well, he just, again, comes in and lunges, and you just slap the spear aside, like, not even an effort. The other one takes a lunge at you with a 20.
Afraid not, my dude.
What? You were the best. For 3 points of damage.
I am a 50 armor class.
All right. Tolbin. Is it Tolbin or Tolbar?
Tolbar.
Okay, got it right. Okay.
Is that like the thing that keeps you from crossing? Like,
The toll bar.
You got to pay your toll. That's the toll bar. You got to wait till that lifts. You don't want to breeze through
Yeah,
that.
you gotta make him change his name.
You shall not pass is my catchphrase.
Oh, man.
Without proper payment.
Without exact change.
Or an easy
Hope
pass.
you save those nickels.
No bills over 20. I'm gonna Burning Hands just because
Okay.
I want to roll the Wild Magic table partially.
You got that table handy?
I have it, actually.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Well, it won't necessarily trigger unless you roll a 1 on a 20.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
Burning Hands.
On these 2 fellers? I mean, cover, right?
No, I don't think you
Is
can
that
get
not
them.
doable? Oh, no.
I think you'd actually have to be one this way, right?
Yeah. The
Okay.
way
Yeah.
orthogonal
Which will draw an
triangles work.
opportunity attack from one of them.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea. So many ranged. I have. So if you. It's what, disadvantage on ranged?
Disadvantage
Yeah.
on range. Yeah.
Then I will just stab you with a dagger, I think.
Okay.
I'll do. No.
Okay.
How's 10?
10 is not a miss. He just brings up a shield and just batters away the knife without too much of an issue. Is that it for you?
Yep.
Girls.
Alright, well, first seeing this orc do it, I'll be like, ah!
And you just saw him go in there and obliterate that first guard. And he's engaged with the other 2 in there without fear.
Alright, and then quickly as these 2 go, big. Alright, well, I'm going to attack the one right in front of me as I slap away the spear. You made a mistake today, partner.
And as you kind of slap it away, kind of the loose robes on your hands kind of slide up, and you see him look down for a second, and he sees the tattoos on your arms, and he freezes. As he sees it, you have advantage in your attack.
Oh, shit. Well, I think a 23 is a hit, I would hope.
Yep.
That's 6 damage.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and spend a key point to Fury of Blows.
Okay, so 2 more.
2 more.
Yep.
So here's
All of them advantage.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he sees those. He recognized them.
I don't know if a 14 gets him.
14 will not hit.
Okay, well, here is my last one. There we
That'll
go.
hit.
4, 5 more.
All right, so the first one just comes in. You kind of knife hand him. Like, he's got chain on, but there, there's kind of like slits on the side where some of the padding is. And you just slide right in there. And he's like, oh. And he bends down. As he bends down, you just grab the back of his helm and smash into his knee. And you hear his nose just explode. And he just falls back.
Pull his hair up.
But not out.
Not out.
Not out. Up, but not out.
I want all you to know I'm going to pull your hair up, but not out. I'm not a bastard.
And then this dude.
The Leutnant.
What's his move?
10.
He does have enough to get up there. And as he comes around, he kind of takes a look at you, and he looks down. He says, "Stand down, alchemist. I don't want to hurt you."
Why don't you just go your way, we'll go our way, forget any of this ever happened.
That's not the way it works. I have to bring you back alive. I prefer it. And he kind of looks down at his men. Or his man, I guess. He doesn't see the other one, but he does hear fighting going on in there. In fact, he can probably look through and see the fighting, but it is dark in there.
Well, I'd prefer that too. That's why I've got 5 different orcs in the next room, tearing things apart.
Okay. Give me a deception.
It's a 17.
You're rolling that 20. So
He's a lieutenant.
yeah.
Okay, it's 4.
It's like, fine, have it your way. And he just lays into you with a longsword or tries to. 21?
Oh, let me? Yeah.
Oh man, be like, I forget, does a 28 hit you?
So he's actually in half plate, and he has a longsword, like a kind of a master sword he's using too.
Gotcha.
So he does 4 points of damage. And he's like, "Men to me!" as he uses his leadership ability. So just make sure I've got it right. Yeah. All right. Okay, so they all seem to be bolstered by their lieutenant. And top of the round, gun.
All right, I will, feeling the rage welling up within, hearing words that I don't quite understand in my frothing rage, but that sounded condescending. I am going to just be glowering at this one and attack recklessly.
Okay.
He's just swinging this anchor. Ah! 16?
It hits.
Sweet.
Oh, you got the great.
Yeah, I did.
Fuck
That'll
yes.
be 15 points of damage again,
Which one
my
did you
man.
swing?
One right in front of him.
And he goes flying backwards through the open door into the alley behind. Just laying there. You're not sure if he's dead or alive, but he's not moving. And you're kind of just like laughing almost frantically at this
yeah.
weapon.
I think as he's swinging it, he's gonna kind of pull it in and just kiss it. And then he'll step here.
Okay.
And yeah, I think he'll sort of just like saliva pouring out of his mouth, like, "If you're gonna run, you best do it now." That's me.
Let's see, let me give him a roll. He's bolstered by his captain
True.
outside. That is a 14. So he's still there, but he doesn't look. He looks a little hesitant.
Little off put.
Yeah, so he'll take a swing at you.
He does have advantage on his swing back.
Okay.
I attacked reckless.
That is a 15.
Oh yeah, I'm a 14. So
All right. For 3 damage, so 1.
okay, I think I can manage that.
The other one out there, he's gonna swing at you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look like much of a threat. You have no armor and a dagger in your hand, and he doesn't seem to.
He doesn't know how good I am at daggering.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe he does.
So he lunges at you with his spear. The wet streets, his heavy boots, his feet go out from under him, and he falls prone.
Nice.
You're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You can just see him just kind of like, because he does have like a heavy helm on. You can see his eyes just narrow. All right, Tolbar.
I will disengage.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't fully understand cones. Where could I be with a 15-foot cone to
So
get
you-
both of them?
Remember, disengage is your action.
Yeah.
That's going to
Okay.
be your action.
So,
Right.
I
so
got
the way cones work are essentially in a square. You can
My man got
either.
sorcery points. He know what he doing.
What's that?
I said my man got sorcery points.
You can either go like that and attack
kind
like
of
that,
staggers in from that, right?
or you can go like this. Or those can be shifted either way.
Then I'd be good from here.
You see that, Cameron
That
Diaz?
one, right?
For the tutorial.
Then I will burning hands in this pattern. These two guys using quickened sorcery point for quickened spell.
There
Tricky
it is.
little
There it
pathway.
is.
Mother.
So dex saves for these two boys.
Okay. This is the LT. That's a negatory on both.
Okay. So 3d6.
6 probably.
That'll be 10 damage.
Okay. So you hit him on the ground. He's actually not dead, but he's just, you burned off his cloak. Any hair he had on the outside of his arm. I mean, he's like, ah, and he's just groaning, and like the spear is actually on fire. He doesn't look good. You see the LT he just nods at you, and he kind of like, almost like he was ignoring you, but as soon as your hand started going, like his head snapped. And then you see him now assessing both of you as major threats.
I think I have the glow, the fire on my face just with this
And roll
concerningly
your,
excited
your
look.
Wild magic.
Fireball. Right off the bat. Here we go. Fireball set on Andrew.
Oh my god!
This could change everything.
That was
This-
incredible.
Okay.
So perfect.
Yeah,
I
great.
can't believe you rolled a 1.
That couldn't have been planned better. That was awesome.
Oh my god. So roll percent off. Oh my god, there's
52.
52. What we got?
That's when my man turns into a potted plant. I gotta pick him up.
Okay. As you cast it, the flame just cascades across the stone over the soldier, and it almost kind of like reflects back and kind of almost blinds everyone for a second. And now there's like this flaming shield just hovering in the air in front of you. And as you kind of like move side to side, it moves with you.
Awesome.
What?
Tight. Wild magic is the way to
It's
go.
wild.
So you have +2 to your AC, and you're immune to magic missiles for a minute.
Okay.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll take it. First roll of the character.
That's awesome, man.
Oh god. Just looking at some of the other ones that are right near it.
Wild magic is so fun.
so bad.
It's so good.
Okay, cool. So that was your turn. Good turn. Gross.
Get him, little stone hand! I love it! I'm gonna take the opportunity attack.
You knew he was an arcane caster.
But I haven't seen it yet, right?
You have not seen it yet. But you saw when he cast it. Oh, by the way, the other thing I didn't tell you, that your stone hand is your arcane focus.
Right.
So it can never be taken away from you. And as he cast it, you saw, and you've seen this before when they've used their stones, when he used flame, you saw the like, because it's gray with these white, like, marbling, the white marbling flamed up literally out of the stone in his hand. So you're 100%. I mean,
Also, a little worried at that.
yeah.
I think I'd say not as much as I
But then you saw that shield come up around him. But I mean, the fact that he projected that flame, it's not that unusual, because you've seen alchemists do that stuff before. But the shield, you've never seen anything like that before.
What did you say after it?
Not as much as I love it.
I'm gonna take the opportunity attack to move here.
Okay. 14.
Missed. I'm gonna use this
Oh.
because I'm gonna spend 2 key points.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing.
Here it comes.
I'm gonna put my hand down to the ground on the stone, but I'm going to pull up a metal spear and throw it.
Tight.
Is that a Twinkie?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a 20.
Does that still double it for this ability?
Yeah,
okay.
Because this ability is a. So, I've tweaked the what is it? The way of the 5 elements.
Yeah, 4 elements.
Way of the 4 elements to way of the quintessence master.
Cool.
So basically I've swapped out some of their abilities with more alchemical types of abilities. So this is called
the spear.
Oh shit!
Pit.
What's it called?
I forget, but I'll come up with it. The stone petarch. No. All right.
My God.
Whoa.
It does 3d10 base.
Good lord.
Yeah.
20, 30. That's 38 damage.
Okay. That's okay. Let's see what's his hit points. Yeah. So it is called. Sorry, I've got it right here. So he pulls out this. You don't see this. But
Yeah.
He just you see him pulling into the ground, and you see him pulling up, and the stone itself doesn't it actually almost falls in on itself as he's pulling metallic alloys out of the stone itself, and the stone tree just collapses it a little bit as he pulls the spear up, and he throws it, and it goes right through the lieutenant, through his back, and impales itself into the stone side of the building. And he looks down at it and just falls back in disbelief.
Nice.
Not alive.
No. Okay.
All right. With I guess with that last bit, seeing that, kind of looking into the window, I'll be like, "Hey, big fella, we should probably make our way out of here."
Coming as a reply.
It's called Iron Partisan.
Iron Partisan.
Cool.
That's the maneuver. Okay, so that was you, and you moved, right? So you're good. So he's dead. Gun.
All right. I will once again attack recklessly. I think he's just smashing the just smashing
there's
stuff.
you get
The
target
bull in the
seat,
china shop.
Literally, yeah.
100%.
There's just anything that was on display here is gone. The counter is kind of intact. It's just really a tiny little corner store.
I hope there's just one cat, with the arm that goes left standing.
The one cat.
Just-
What are those called? They gotta have a name, right?
Cat dippers.
All right, that's gonna be 15. No, sorry, that's a little too much.
14.
It's only 13 damage.
Oh man, so
13
close.
damage. I think after he smashes him, he'll come out of his rage, having heard that,
Right.
and kind of cautiously come through like, "Look at this thing I found! It shows me! It shows me!" And he'll start running in the direction.
You just see bodies laying outside. You see what you've fought the prelacy before.
Yeah.
In naval actions. I mean, you recognize the armor that the lieutenant is wearing. That he was not a high ranking, but he was not he was a commander of some type, laying dead with a perfect sized hole in his armor.
Yeah, he'd probably just do a double take at that, but he's also ecstatic about the anchor right now.
I think I'd be giddy too. I think we're probably
You're all like,
we're running down the street like
And
maniacs.
the guy laying on the ground just looks like he's dead. His tongue's hanging out of his mouth.
just pretending.
He's like, "I'm definitely still dead. Still
Water
dead."
hitting his face. He blinks a little bit, closes his eyes. He's not moving.
All right, I guess,
Yeah.
still running. I'm like, Bio, that was good work. I loved it. I don't know why that anchor chose you, but I hope you never leave it.
I'm not exactly sure why it chose me either, or why I even chose you. I guess in a way it's kind of like a chain of choosing, but either way, the name's Gun.
I'm Barros.
Barrows, sure.
I'm Tolbar.
Oh, like the wooden planks that block the roads. You gotta pay a copper piece.
I thought that. I thought the same thing.
took the wind out of me.
Sorry.
Let's keep running.
It might just be a mock to the end thing. Don't know that it's everywhere.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean no offense by it.
That's all right.
Maybe. Never mind.
All right, well, the three of you run into the darkness, so we'll take a break.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we'll be
Cool.
back in a few minutes.
BRB.
Yep.
Tight.
Welcome back.
I'm filling in for Lydia
Yeah, you are.
tonight with my burps.
Yeah, just burping and pre-return
Oh, on
goofs.
this side, yeah. If we wanted to be Lydia and Raven, we just hit a burp into each other's mouths.
Yeah.
Suck it in.
They do some weird stuff over there. I usually just block it out, but sometimes I'm like, what is happening right now? What are y'all doing?
So, our heroes met through interesting circumstances in the city of Moxlien. Were assaulted by soldiers as two of our party were running from the Primers Guild, in which they'd stole some very valuable alchemical.
I do think as soon as we stopped running, Gunn would just really bluntly be like, alright, so what'd you steal?
I'm gonna level with you. We stole a couple documents, a couple formulas, some lessons for alchemy to help with his stone hand.
And all of a sudden, you see his left hand is made of stone.
Oh yeah, I think about it. Hold on, is it? You can't even like wiggle your fingers.
I can wiggle them
like a little bit. Like like the longer you've had this, because you've had it for over a year now. You like slowly, like the more you can like. You think that there is a direct correlation to your ability to manipulate it to how well you can move it.
It's better every day. It's well worth the price.
Well, I suppose you got a pretty firm handshake.
That's a good one.
You see, because that's like a rock.
We couldn't beat it. Also, I had a suspicion earlier that I thought was slightly confirmed when that helped us get into the halls and archives. But just for our own edification. That is a very powerful thing. I think it's something similar to a Q stone, which is called a quintessence stone, which is high alchemical magic. But at best, you're going to be very powerful. At worst, that is a living bomb on your hand.
Oh,
You don't know. It hasn't like continued in any way. It's like right about just above your wrist. So I mean, yeah.
It seems to have some
When you-
unexpected effects.
When you say a bomb, you mean like it could just explode and...
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh.
I'm a gambler by nature, so I'm willing to roll the dice because that was an interesting display.
What a way to go.
I could think of a few better.
I think I could too, and I am.
Well, would you like to
You
share?
don't believe him.
In actuality,
you don't-
it's just a hamster on a wheel in there.
It's back to Grim. It's the skeleton.
Yeah, let's bringing it back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh, we're gonna have to bring that back. At some point, he's gonna have to ask that question.
Well, let me know as you think of them, and I'll see what I can do.
So, yeah, we stole from the Primers Guild. Don't know if you know what they are. They're alchemists. Yeah, make all sorts of salves, potions, naval weapons from time to time.
We know that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Not the belly button.
No, I understood.
What's your story?
I understood.
You didn't get the
Skulls dancing. What was I? I had the papers, but what was I here for again?
You were just paid. You had no. You were hired as like a
that's
caravan
right.
guard.
That's right.
And you were just trying to make your way.
That's right.
Right.
Oh, just a bit of a wanderer, really. Making my way with my weapons. But now it seems like this old Inca chose me. And then you fellas happen to be there, so... Hey, if there's money to be made, then you can count me in. And if there ain't money to be made, but there's booze to be drank, I reckon I could be there too.
Well, there's always that.
Definitely money. Definitely
Definitely.
booze. More importantly, there is opportunity. I'm talking about not just money, fortunes, fame, glory. We could be the best. Equal partners.
Equal.
You don't think we should go by body weight? I think he's like dead serious. I think he's got his hand on his anchor
Like
too.
flexing his muscles.
Yeah, a little bit. Like you don't think we should go by body weight? Muscles.
Tempting offer.
No.
But I'm saying no. We all bring something different to the table.
I set it on fire.
I'll smash it up real good.
I can put fires out, and I can rebuild things that are smashed.
It's sort of like like some kind of cycle.
Exactly. It's 100% like a cycle of some sort.
I think he would be like, yeah, like a cycle.
Just kind of looking, pondering.
Thinking about it deeply.
You know, he's smarter than he seems.
Oh, absolutely.
Not saying much.
I don't know exactly out of the papers that we got if it's going to, certainly not heal your hand. But if I'm being honest, I don't know that you need the formulas to unlock the power. A Q stone is one of the singular most dangerous possible things imaginable. It can let you do almost anything. So I can't cure it, probably, with what we got.
You don't want it cured.
Can you make it worse? And I mean, better?
I
Worse?
suppose what I'm saying is, I think that you, in your heart and your mind, can make it more effective.
So some of the things that they gave training was obviously like deep meditative states and being able to focus. He's not focused at all. You can see, like, you saw it almost when he activated that thing, for a second, you thought it was going to explode. Like, the flames almost looked like they were pushing the stone out of his hand.
Oh, feck, oh, feck, oh, feck, oh, feck, oh, feck, oh, feck.
So, you may not be able to teach him the formulae like you're actually, you're 100% sure, and you knew you were going to.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But you do think, now that you're kind of thinking back on it, now that you've seen it in action, you think a lot of it just has to do with focus and concentration and control.
What you got to do, first and foremost, always, whenever you're doing something new, take a pause, take a breath, think about it for a minute, and you gotta focus your mind. I can teach you how to meditate, but the power is gonna come within inside of you and how you manipulate your body in relation to quintessence, which has
You're
a lot.
really bored.
Yeah.
He's trying to track.
I
There's
think I
a-
would be too. I'd be like,
There's a lot of abstracts there, and if I'm being honest, I slipped through some of those lessons.
so I helped you steal that so we could relax a bit.
Well, we stole that, because we thought it was going to be something else, but fortunately...
But you didn't have time to kind of grab. You
Well, yeah, that's what I'm...
You were...
I'm-
the alarms went off.
I'm rolling with
No, I
the
know.
truth
Yeah, just
and
kinda-
spinning it
yeah,
as
spin
much
it.
as I can. But on the upside, that situation caused us to see the true power of it. So now I have a clearer idea of how to help you. And you, my friend, big fella, my partner, gun. I've never seen anybody swing an anchor like that.
I've never seen anyone
seen
swing.
Oh, no.
That is true. I picked this up. Like I said, it chose me. I think she needs a name.
Oh, what do you think you might want to name her?
I have to think about it. Maybe it'll come to me. One of them meditative states you was talking about.
That's exactly right. I myself, when I reach a meditative state, think of the name of a number of ladies and lasses that I've known. I could rattle them off for you at some point.
Like your mom's, grandmom.
Not mine, but other people's sometimes.
You don't strike me as that friendly of a guy, but alright.
Oh, he's very friendly.
I just mean with people's mums and grandmoms.
Oh, he's very friendly with people's moms.
Well, it depends on the mum.
Or the grandmom.
What are the grandmom? You see, I'm half elf. There are some grandmoms that are elves that are like 800 years old. They don't look any different.
That's a good point.
Great, just great.
Great, great. Me mom's an elf. I have over 30 half-siblings. 30.
That's 15. See, dividing is,
So, we make a little partnership here. We help each other. I don't like the Primers Guild. I never quite did. I did for a little while. But what I did learn is their strength in numbers.
Well, we sure as shit should get out of here soon.
That's a problem for you. Not a problem for you, but it's a problem that you know of. Because, again, you know that the Primers Guild is almost undisputedly probably the most influential organization within the Prelacy. Up there along with the church. It's like the church and the Church of the Lords of Light and the Primers Guild, they are kind of on par because the Primers Guild creates a lot of stuff for the Prelacy. War machines, clockwork creatures. I mean, in fact, you've seen some of this stuff. You know of this. You've seen some of this, and you've seen some of it kind of around the city itself. You've seen these. Actually, there are no horses in the city allowed at all. In fact, outside on the front, near the front gates, of these massive horse warehouses where horses and beasts of burden and things like that are housed. It's like they're too dirty for the city. They don't want to have to maintain them because this is an old city, like thousands of years old. The city is thousands of years old. So a lot of the streets are very narrow. Some of them are very wide. It just depends on where you are. So they have these things called iron porters. They are effectively clockwork beasts of burden that are all over the city, and they kind of look like hunched beasts of burden, like really high backs with kind of these spines that come out of them. They have like the backward legs as they move along, and they are all the same size and shape, but they're all like one big thing in the city is they adorn them. Like they'll paint them and put different little decorations on them, and it's almost kind of like a thing of pride, to like have the most elaborate looking iron porter as a and you because it's almost like especially for merchants, it's like a free advertising.
Right.
You're like, oh, that's for blah blah blah, and you know exactly what it is. So you see those creatures just lumbering around the city.
Cool.
And they are effective. They'll pull wagons and whatnot. So they are. Again, you've never seen a horse. You've seen the massive warehouses outside of the city itself. So again, you know that because the Primers Guild is so influential, they've probably shut the city down to look for you.
I completely agree about getting out of here. There might be a small, and I mean a tiny, hiccup. The Primers Guild is, well, they've got a lot of pull in the city. We just broke into the archive. Took a few things. Nothing too important. However, they probably shut down the city. And it's on lockdown.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you not have an exit strategy?
You do.
I do.
Go on.
So your exit strategy
Wait for it.
We all lean in and whisper incoherently.
is that underneath the city there is an elaborate sewer system. Because technology and advancements and things like that are very prevalent here. Like there are toilets. There is an actual, a sewer system, and water flows to a lot of the buildings inside of the city itself. But there's also like a maze of these tunnels underneath the city, which you knew about from your past, and you knew of a smuggler. His name was Black Rat. He was called Black Rat for a couple of reasons. One, he likes to eat kind of Cajun-style rats. That's one of his things.
Spicy rats.
Yeah, spicy rats.
Spicy rats.
I do love
and
a
in
spice
fact,
rat.
because you knew that, you would, before you did any of this, you went out and bought a bunch of these herbs and spices because you knew they would be great trade for him. Because he never goes above ground. He just stays down in these sewers.
Eats the spice rats.
But he's kind of a small-time operation. But he's also very good at getting things and or people in and out of the city. But you do know that it's been a while since you've talked to him, but you kind of did some poking around before, and you found out that in the Temple Street, actually one of the it's kind of weird because one of the greater gods, his name is Kuar the Father. He's like the master of all magic. He has some of the greatest temples along the district are his, but there's like this small little one that is a front. And basically you go up and say that you're looking for absolution and you have a couple of code words and they let you in, and then basically they give you access to these tunnels.
Sweet.
So you have to make your way there.
So we gotta go see a guy that I know. He lives in the sewers. He's a smuggler, gets people in and out. Small time operation, not many people know about him, but he's good. He's really, really good.
The other reason you kind of have something a little bit over him because you know his real name. His real name is Jerome Paulbody. And it's just such a pathetic name. And he never wants anyone to know what his name is. That's always been another little kind of thing that you can kind of hold over him. But he calls himself Black Rat. Because he hated the name so much. That was the other reason it's called Black Rat.
Right. All we gotta do is go to Temple Street, which is
very close to the Citadel, actually.
Is close to the Citadel, so close to the government, close to a lot of the organizations.
A friend of mine once called it the Citadel, and I had a good laugh.
I'm sure you did.
Thought I'd share that with you. That's a freebie.
The Citadel. I like it. I'm gonna call it that from now on.
Okay.
Because we're not gonna be here for much longer, so frankly it doesn't matter who hears it.
Always refer to it then as the Citadel from here on.
Here's the Citadel. So here's the plan. We're gonna leave here. We're gonna get to Temple Street, buy the Citadel. We're gonna go in a fake temple with a couple of code words and, seek an absolution. Get into the sewers. Talk to my friend Black Rat. Give him spices so he can eat his spicy rats. He gets us out of the city.
Spicy. Okay.
Yep, likes to eat spicy rats. That's why I got these. Best spices you can buy. Plus, made a few modifications in the alchemical department, so should have a real kick.
Scoville value of 1 million.
The last rat.
If he doesn't shit himself, I didn't do my job proper.
Well, okay then. Sounds like we gotta sort it out.
That's getting out of the city. I don't quite know what to do after that, but I suppose once we're out of the city, we'll just,
Just roll a 27.
7.
Yeah. So, you're deep in the Prelacy, right? You can't getting through the gates east of here into the Mandate of Warshala. You don't think is going to be even feasible in any way, shape, or form.
And probably not the greatest idea.
Traveling along the main trade road, there's a lot of traffic along there. I feel like your best bet is to kind of head towards the coast, towards the Harparthian Sea. There are still major cities of the Prelacy there, but there are also free cities along there. And as you can see, Tarjor Jad is down there, but just southwest of there is Port Zorgossa.
Hook me up with a digital map so I can put it in the overlay for next time.
Yep, I have it.
Well, I say we make our way to the coasts, to the Hyparthian Sea. I know shite about boats. Honestly, I don't know a damn thing about them.
Got an anchor.
We do have an anchor.
That's the start.
Do you happen to know a thing about sailing ships, boats, anything?
I reckon I know my way around the ropes a bit. Mm-hmm.
You?
A bit. I assume.
Both of you just give me insight checks. Not you, just those two.
Oh.
I got a 20.
Got a 20.
Okay, well, he definitely
21.
seems a little hesitant when he talks about it, but that's really all you're picking up from him. It's not that he's not telling you the truth. There's just something there that's just like he just kind of, you've seen him kind of, wander off in thought while you were talking to him before, but this is different. This is just him genuinely seeming a little concerned about something, but nothing you can really pick up.
We don't have to stay at the coast necessarily. I mean, but that's probably our best way out. Not trying to go into the mandate. Everywhere else we'd probably get caught. Killed.
Well, I don't like that.
No, me either.
I hope the life or the run you chose with whatever you stole was worth it.
Well, I think we have to try our best to make it worth it.
Okay, well, when we get moving, then I think he's gonna pick his anchor up and put it over his shoulder,
Nice.
and then I think he's gonna kind of think about it, take it back off, take some burlap and wrap it around the top part, put some twine on it to make kind of a pad for his shoulder, right near the top of it.
But you're not wearing armor.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it.
Lead the way.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, you know your way in and around the city. You know areas to stay away from patrols as best you can until you get to the Double District and the Temple Street. So as you make your way there, it's late, so you're not seeing a ton of people. But as you're kind of making your way up, you do see a patrol coming towards you. And just give me insight checks as they're heading towards you.
17.
12.
You don't think they're focused on you. In fact, you look to your left, and you see on the corner, you see a man in, like, red and brown robes with two other individuals standing next to him. And as you get a little bit closer, you can hear they're kind of prophesizing in the corner. They're not actually on the street itself. And actually, as you look beyond, you can see the streets open up. It's almost like a couple hundred feet across. And you see that it's the causeway that leads up to the fortress itself. And even in the distance, this is not something neither one of you probably know, that you've probably seen them. You know, and you can kind of see these little bits of red fire down at the base of the, like the gates of the fortress itself. And you know those are firehounds. I know they sound like they might be dogs, but they're not. They're actually 15-foot tall constructs that don't have heads. And in the center of their chest, they have like a series of these like rotating teeth. And in the center of it is like an ever burning out chemical fire. And they can just blast fire out. And on their arms, they have different various weapons. They sit as sentinels. They never move, but they are war machines that the prelacy has for defense of the city.
Well, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
they're not
Maddie.
moving.
This is a sub from Maddie for 10 months.
Wow.
Thank you, Maddie. And
Thanks,
I realize I still have not sent you images. I promise I will get on that soon. We're switching our merch over to Maddie. I've just really drug my feet on it. So thank you, Maddie. Appreciate you. Love you, my dude.
So as you start moving up, the soldiers look like they're moving towards this group, not towards you, but you can kind of overhear what they're saying. And again, this one figure, and he's kind of older, he's got a large gray beard, and you can kind of hear him saying, he's like, "We are the priests and the brotherhood of Orshala." And you're like, "Oh, shit." You know the Mandate of Orshala is another, they're kind of like they were a sister nation to the prelacy long time ago. But they have significant religious differences at this time. We work together against the common sins. Why have you been fooled and betrayed by the Lords of Light? It does not matter. How have you been fooled by the Lords of Light? It does not matter. The only thing you need to know is that when Orshala returns to us, all of this will fall. The answer is soon, brothers and sisters. We are but a ripple in the pond of what is coming. And as soon as he kind of finishes it, there's actually people that are listening to him. The guards just descend upon them. And they're kind of like, there's like a scuffle, and you see them shackle up these individuals. And it is a distraction for you as the crowd is focused on that, and they start marching these priests of Orshala towards the Citadel, probably to be thrown into the dungeon for an indeterminate amount of time.
Nice. I think Gunn is actually pretty stealthy, so he'll kind of stick to the shadows as best he can.
I think Tolbar will always keep gun between him and whatever he's scared of.
So you guys can roll stealth with advantage because of this just natural distraction.
I guess while they're getting hauled off, I'll be like, "Oh, praise be to Orshala." That's a Twinkie.
I did not roll so hot.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I got a 12.
Okay.
22.
25.
Okay. Well, they're not actively looking for you.
Cool.
So they're using their passive perception, which ain't great. So they're just going along. I think they have a passive perception of 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're fine.
Hey, I'm gonna give this to old Tolbar there for playing a self-centered character this time around. Big departure.
Thanks.
Maybe this one will live.
I miss sweet boy Elbin. And,
Elvin the Dead.
Clearly, being good in these games has done Andrew no
Yeah.
fucking service.
So you pass by, and you start heading down the temple street. And again, you notice that there are, even at this time of night, there are basically representatives of the church kind of selling the church for each of the different gods along the way. And there are probably a dozen or 24 of these temples. Some of them are dedicated to the same god, some of them like a combination of a couple of the gods, because some of the gods are like allied with each other.
I think Grim would just say, like, they're just selling it like merchandise.
Yeah, well, again, the Lords of Light and the religion is a pretty heavy influence within the prelacy. But you finally make it, and you see this figure standing outside the temple that you know of. That is at that point, and it's a man, and he's in plate, and the lantern light is almost making it looks like it's gold, the armor that he's wearing. He has like a deep blue cape, and he has a great sword on his back. As you get closer, you notice that the armor is in pretty bad disrepair, and that the gold plating, it's actually like painted on there. It's like flaking off in different places, but the sword looks pretty legit. It looks like well-worn handle. The leather is kind of like sweat stained, but the armor just looks like almost ceremonial looking. The cloak looks dirty, but intact, and he's just like, the Father, the Lord of the Aether Flows. He controls magic. He controls your destiny. Come in, children. Come in. Learn more.
All right. Is she gonna just keep talking about it, or are we gonna do the...
Yes, big fella, we are going to go inside as we're seeking absolution.
So the phrase is the Aether flows as the Aether wills.
Forgive my friend here, the Aether flows as the Aether wills. And he'll learn that soon
And he's
enough.
like smiling, and then he kind of does the little look around and kind of gives you all kind of the once over. Of course, my children, follow me, as he smiles and leads you in. And as he does, you can see that he's kind of leading you in, and there seems to be like another person just queued up to go out there. and you see he sees him coming in, he's like, ugh. He just kind of sighs, and there's another set of this armor. And he's like awkwardly putting his arms in and trying to get into the armor to go out and basically be on station, waiting for anyone else who wants to come in.
Nice.
Leads you back in to the back, and it's just a very simple, like there's pews, it just looks pretty austere looking. And he just kind of leads you back, he's not even saying anything to you, leads you down into like a wine cellar, and then there's just like a grate at the bottom of the thing, and he just takes a crowbar out, pulls it up, and then looks for a donation. It's up to you how much you want to donate. Or what you think would be appropriate.
Is any of this wine for sale?
Pretty sure all the wine is bad. It's just for show.
How bad?
Probably spicy vinegar by now.
I think I know the deal. I'll give him 20... No, I'll give him 30 gold. That's 10 gold apiece.
Okay.
For each of us.
He kind of looks at it.
You sure all that wine's bad?
Oh, I'm very sure. He expertly puts the gold away. Enjoy your trip, gentlemen.
Praise be to the Aether flows.
Yeah, right.
Have a good one, Uncle.
And as he opens up, it's just kind of like these rusty iron rings that just go down into the darkness. Now, you have dark vision. You do, but you do not. So it's dark. Do you have any
No.
equipment that is...
Let's see what I got here.
You have to light a torch, my dude.
I can see in the dark. You can probably see in the dark.
Of course I can see in the dark.
Well, just making sure.
Wouldn't be much of a good, well, I guess some people can't. Yeah, forget about that.
I didn't print out my second page. I'm assuming I have a torch or something, or not.
If you bought one of the standard, like, Explorer packs, which I'm assuming you probably did,
Yeah, I have
being
a
a far
torch.
traveler.
I do have a torch.
Okay, so you can strike up a torch.
I can see in the dark too.
I'll be like, I gotcha. I'll light your torch. I'll light your fire, baby.
I think I'll be a little bit insulted by it. Like, I could have. Okay, thank you.
I'm just trying to be accommodating.
But at the very least, again, you saw him throw those iron spears. He obviously has a completely different power than you. But he obviously is tapping into very similar energies that you are.
Right.
Which, I don't know how you think that if that's necessarily good or bad, but, maybe he has something to teach you.
Also, before I forget, Bios, going into the sewers. Mostly they're safe enough, but also as a thank you, also as a slightly sorry I couldn't do exactly what I said I could. These are 2 healing potions each for you. Good ones, better, brewed by masters, not some schlub.
Alright, that'll come in handy. Put it in his
So, as an aside, this is actually something that I do in my campaign, especially if there's no healers in the group, is they all effectively have the feat healer. Now, you can only use it, you each have it effectively, so you can do it if you have a healing kit, you can do the way the rules are for the, but each of you can only do it once per, you can only do it once per short rest per person.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right? So the three of you can't heal one person, and the other 3 heal another person.
Yeah.
It's
Normally
one-
it's once per person you're healing.
Yes.
This is one use per player.
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
got it.
If for some reason you took the feat, I would let it stack.
Yeah, got it.
And we did have time for a short rest in between there.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
just
Gunn
gonna
would be
roll
figuring
one.
out how to. Gunn hears dogs barking in the distance.
Who's that? Who's that? Is they onto us? There's some dogs
None
out.
of you hear it.
You don't hear them dogs?
I don't.
I have really good hearing.
You are a man of many talents. Anchors, hearing,
Jokes.
jokes.
I called it the Citadel. You laughed at
the
that.
Citadel.
That was good.
He'll be holding the anchor, like trying to figure out how to climb down a ladder. Like,
You don't. You think it's going to be really different. You just
yeah, I think,
just drops it.
Hey, gun, drop anchor.
yeah. I think he will just sort of hold it over and like, all right, well,
Hey, that.
King, 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 king. And it just echoes, and you're just going to like.
Ladders.
Alright, I'll go down first.
So you have a map.
Got it.
On basically, Black Rat has dozens of like little bolt holes and hidey holes and stuff. And typically, what they are is a lot of times they've used alchemical substances to kind of like bore out holes in the stone, and there's like usually like refuse and debris and stuff piled up. But it's very specific, and there's like little markers that are not like runes on the wall or anything like that, but just like pieces of wood that are laid in a certain pattern that you're familiar with on how to recognize.
cool.
Thief signs.
We're just gonna follow these spots on the map. One of these places he's bound to be in, and he'll get us right out.
All right. Does he like wine?
With his rats, yeah, probably. Yeah, no, he likes wine. Honestly, anything that has any sort of alcohol content, he'll drink. I mean, even stuff you definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, him and me both.
I bet you could take down some rubbing alcohol.
I've got an iron belly. Could drink just about anything.
Another gift?
I know a couple concoctions I don't think you'd want to imbibe.
I'll have to try it sometime.
All right. Well, it's about an hour or two go by,
Yeah.
and you've found one that's just abandoned. You found another one where maybe like a flood came through and just washed it away. You found one that looks like, yeah, he probably was here at one point. And finally, you're making your way down, and you think you can smell something.
Hey, Gun, can you smell that?
Do I?
Yeah, it smells like spicy rat. Not sure why you know that, but you do.
It's kind of making me hungry. It smells like... Oh yeah, I cooked rat in the boat before. It's definitely rat cooking.
You're just holding your torch, and you've probably gone through, because the torches I think last for an hour, I think, each.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that. So you've gone through, 2 or 3 torches.
Here's the
Probably
problem
half a
with
dozen.
rat, though. There's a lot of work to eat, kind of like eating crabs. There's just a lot of work, a lot of little bones.
You just eat the bones.
You just kind of crunch them all down. But sometimes the tail gets stuck in your throat, and you pull the throat out, pull the tail out your throat.
Just for clarification, I've eaten rat before
Yeah.
myself. The way you're describing the problems with rat, do you eat rats whole?
Definitely not.
Okay. Just
No, I eat them the normal way.
As he looks,
Turn around.
I'm fucking
Keep moving.
giving him an inspiration. I fucking love it.
You can have mine too.
All right, yeah.
alright, well, you see it. I mean, you smell it long before you see it. And then within your dark vision range, you do see this, again, it's like pile of debris and, trash and whatever. And it doesn't smell good, but it's not like he probably doesn't put, like, trash that's gonna go bad. It's
Yeah.
more like wood and stuff like that. But as you're kind of getting a little bit closer, you hear this like real quiet whistle coming from it, and you're like, okay, and how to
I'll
reply.
respond.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you see kind of like a couple pieces of the wood kind of peer back, and you just see this kind of like greasy black-haired looking man, just like where it's kind of he's like Daryl on Walking Dead, where his hair just always seems to be plastered to his face and his head. He looks like he's sweating and kind of peeking out, and you see a little bit of like the smoke from his fire kind of pouring out.
He's always sweating. Doesn't matter. It's just
Because it's too close, not enough ventilation for the fire.
Name yourselves.
well, you know me. It's Barros, your old friend.
Barros, you haven't been down here in a long time.
That's right, I haven't. But I'm here now, and I've got friends. This is Tolbar.
Like the...
Like the name.
And this is Gun. Anchorhand.
Yep, that's me.
What do you need from me?
Well, I was hoping to requisition your services. Trying to get out of the city, on the quiet like.
Why are you trying to get out of the city? Who are you trying to avoid? It'll help me decide where you're going. of
Well-
course.
Most likely, the answer to that is just about everybody in any position of power or authority. Primers Guild, mostly. The Guard. The Hounds. Skyships.
Also, a shop owner is going to be very disappointed.
Yep. A shop owner.
You two stay there. You call me closer. And you can see he's got like a hand crossbow, like in his hand. And now did you see it?
Oh,
What do you have to trade?
what do I have to trade? Like, I don't know you at all. The best
The
spice.
squinty little eyes get really wide.
And this one, I took a few recipes from the Primers Guild. There's a good chance you'll piss yourself, you'll shit yourself, and you'll throw up, and the order might surprise you.
You hear the crossbow just drop to the ground, and he just stumbles and like falls out through his little barricade, and kind of rolls and kind of comes up to his feet really quick. Let me see them. He's like tasting it and sniffing. Like, this is good stuff.
The best stuff.
There's a problem.
What's the problem?
The Primers Guild has sealed off some of my best tunnels. And I don't have the same working force that I used to have. With the spices, and if you can break down one of these walls for me that they've put up. I think we can have a deal. You break the wall down, come back to me, and I'll give you the maps.
I think smashing is within our wheelhouse, yeah?
Perhaps you could throw in some wine.
I've got some sewer wine, if that's what you want.
I
don't.
do not want
Definitely,
sewer wine.
mate.
I make it myself.
I have had to drink turnip wine.
Make a rat stew with it.
And it messed me up for some time. And you do not want to see when I'm messed up like that. Believe you me.
Never mind.
You know what? Just point us to the wall, and we'll take care of it.
You have a map? Alright, he takes it out and kind of like reaches into his pocket and pulls out a dead rat. And just like, with one of his long nails, he just kind of cuts it and kind of squeezes a little bit of the blood out. And takes one of his other nails and just uses it to try to draw on the map with the blood to where you need to go.
Gunn is gonna rummage in his satchel. Like,
Do you want a pen? Or...
Yeah.
It's an ink pen. I mean, I don't have any inks, but you can at least write a little better.
He kind of takes it and like just sticks it in the rat.
You're making Gun's stomach rumble.
It opens up and he just kind of, oh,
There you go. That should help.
that'll help me make my wine. You're not sure how.
I think
You don't know that he knows how.
Yeah.
You feel like they're having a conversation on the same level.
It's like,
Yeah, we're both just.
Gunn's like,
Well, that's why it's red.
that
isn't
makes
And it
sense.
makes a lot of sense.
That's how it gets the red color. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, he's not the brightest, but he is canny.
Oh,
in
yeah.
cunning, you know.
All right. Well, a wall.
Break a wall.
All right. So he gives you the directions. You figure it'll probably take you at least an hour to get there. I mean, the city is massive, so this is not unusual for you. So you take the map, and it's not. It actually is a pretty decent map because you probably would have tried to find the best map possible, especially in the area where you knew he might be. And you make your way through, and you just come down a passageway, and it's exactly the way you described it. It just ends. And as you get closer, just give me an intelligence. Or do you have knowledge arcana?
I do not
Okay, just give
actually.
me intelligence then.
ooh.
Okay.
Look at the
Yeah,
big
you
brains
look at
on
it.
Barrows.
You look at the stone, you're kind of like, yeah, the whole wall looks like it was erected. Like it was just constructed by someone who probably had a stone. Because they can actually make permanent.
Oh, I mean, I'll take the opportunity. Right. You see this wall?
Mm-hmm.
Put your hand up next to it. Just the stone one. To be clear. Right.
Not Gun.
Now close your eyes. Like, do you feel it? Do you feel how this wall is different from the other walls around it?
I think as they're talking, Gunn's just getting his anchor ready. Like, he's got it hefted.
Like, this wall is a permanent wall that was constructed out of materials around it by that somebody else has who knows how to use it. Like that.
I could tap his hand on it and just nothing.
Nothing. No. I mean,
Something to aspire to.
yeah. You've never been. Your knack for your magic has never been so much like sensing it, rather than just like pulling it from around you, and just raw energy and just projecting it out. The ability to sense it has never been something currently that you're able to do.
Gotcha.
So you kind of like, yeah, no, I don't see anything. And for a second, you weren't sure. You were like, well, maybe there was something to this. But then you're like, a bit downtrodden, maybe.
Alright, are you two done touching that wall? Or
You can have it.
Master Gun. Do your worst.
He'll
All right, well, you start hammering into it, and you are taking big chunks out of it. You've probably, the deepest you've probably gone is maybe like 4 or 5 inches. You're still stone beyond it. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
All of you roll perception checks. You're going at it for like maybe 15 minutes.
18.
10.
10 also.
Neither one of you hear this. You're kind of hammering and you're kind of watching closely. You're back a little bit. You hear, like out of the corner of your ear, kind of like a grinding noise coming from the tunnel behind you. And you just hear it for a second, but you're kind of like waiting between his raw, and he's sweating, and you have to take breaks every once in a while.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just you like getting used to the anchor too.
Yeah.
Like you're trying different grips. You're hitting it different. You're getting your kind of tempo with how to use the weapon.
I like to think too, on one break, like the wall clearly looks still intact. So I think it's gonna come down any minute.
And then you hear it again. It's like some kind of scraping noise.
Hey there, partners. Do you hear that?
You can roll again.
Nope.
Yep.
Now
21.
You hear it too. You kind of hear this, and you're hearing it also, and you're like, your ears are maybe ringing a little bit from
Yeah.
being so close.
But I think Grim will look at them like, what's it sound like?
A scratching, a grinding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I hear it now.
You can always trust your hearing.
And you've still got maybe like a half a dozen torches left, and you kind of like hold the torch up, and I mean you guys can see. I don't think in here the low light really change. I don't think there's like an additional like it isn't like Pathfinder, right? Just 60
It's
foot.
just dark
just
vision,
60 feet.
60 foot.
So he's kind of holding it up, and you're all just kind of staring down the path, and all of a sudden you just see these kind of flashes off something silvery coming down the passage, and all of a sudden you just go fuck, and you recognize it, and as soon as it comes into the light you just see this whirling ball of swords coming towards you, and you know what it is. It's called a storm of swords. Basically it is by the Primers Guild, and they use it to, there's 2 uses for it. They actually use them down in the lower tunnels to like cut up and destroy like refuse and midden heaps and things like that. But if they're controlled properly by usually a master, they can use them as a terrible weapon. And as you see it, it's just at 60 feet range when it starts sliding into like the blades are like cutting into the wall, and you can see that it's kind of because it almost looks like they're floating around like a central apparatus, and you've only seen them from a distance, or you've seen them when they're shut down, and it just all it is that the blades lay on the ground. You know that they use some type of like magnetism to kind of rotate or grab or something along that lines to propel them, and it's initiative. So we're just gonna do this kind of theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind.
El Teatre de Mindo.
Flawless.
Definitely. That's Elvish.
Yeah, no, I know. I knew a little Elvish.
Okay, gun.
I got a 13.
What's your dex mod?
Plus 2.
All right, we'll go first then.
No,
Hold on.
you won't. 22.
All right.
15.
All right.
Man, feels weird to not have a plus 12 initiative.
All right. Dolbar. You can just see it, and it looks like it's, for the most part, it's like filling. It's a swarm.
How far away? At this
60
point?
feet.
Okay.
I didn't actually write down how many slots I have. That's what? 2 first level slots?
No, we're level
you're
3.
third
You're
level.
two,
Probably 3 and 4 and 2.
2 twos and 4 ones.
Oh, looks like I have
2 twos,
yeah,
4
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Then I will Witch Bolt. Wait, how far did you say? Sorry.
60 feet.
Oh, never mind.
Well, it's moving, right?
Yeah, I'll hold my
So you
action.
can hold your action until it's within range, and then trigger it if you want.
I will do so.
Okay.
The WB. That's what I like to call Witch Bolt.
I mean, who doesn't?
Barrows.
So I know there's a magnetism to the
You
that.
know that the ball in the center is the focus of it.
Okay.
And it's just like this spinning, kind of like copperish-looking ball.
Okay. It's a spinning, copperish looking ball. Well, I'll do this ability first and foremost. I'll hold my action to do my spear.
Oh, okay, right.
Dudes, did you know about this? You can swipe between your character sheet pages in D&D Beyond.
yeah.
I did not know that. I keep using the little
Oh, yeah,
menu
you
button
swing
down
back
at
and
the
forth.
bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at him.
Aw.
So, yeah, I'll hold my action. I'll
What are you holding your action for?
for just when that center like sphere
Uh-huh.
gets into range, that I'm gonna try to throw a spear at it.
Okay, well, look at the rate. It's 100.
Oh yeah, it's 120 foot range. You're right. All right, then I will just do that. I will be like, aim for that spear! Aim for the spear! And I will.
Again, so like slivers of metal, almost like, because it looks like it might be maybe like concrete or something down here, like a amalgamation of like stone and metal, and you just start pulling these slivers out, and they just start weaving themselves into the spear.
That won't do it, I'm afraid.
That's right. I keep forgetting the divine. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even realize we might be.
Yep.
One divine, courtesy of Maddie.
All right, so the spear just goes again. He does the same thing, and he just throws it again. He's like tracing the tattoos on his arm, and he does it. There's just like that. All of you just get that like metal taste in your mouth when he does it, because it pulls from everywhere around you. Because even we have some type of metal in us from things we've eaten and things like that. And it goes flying, and it looks like it's going to go right where it needs to go, and it just it like rotates around, and some of the blades get shattered as the spear goes past and through and misses it.
Okay, that's not good. 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 I will back up to the wall then, or I guess, or I'm just.
So the wall is not broken through, but as you get kind of close to it, you can see it looks like there's just like a sliver. I mean, you can't see light on the other side, but a sliver of like that he's broken. It's almost like half a foot of stone.
Question. So I know we're in the sewer, and I'm imagining that there's kind of like the upper walkways.
These are just square.
It's just square.
Yeah, because it's not like these aren't designed. These particular ones are not necessarily designed for water to flow through.
Gotcha.
You don't really actually. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Okay.
Engineering wise, what the use of them are. They look like they're access tunnels.
Gotcha. All right. I'll back up. Oh well, that was my whole thing. So yeah, I'm stopping.
Looks like it's moving pretty quick towards us.
Yes.
All right, I think Gunn will drag his anchor forward, stand in front of Toll Booth, and take his hand axe off his hip, and just hold his action to where when it's within, what is hand axe, 20? Yeah, when it's within 20, he'll chuck the hand axe at it.
Okay.
He will also bonus action rage. He's just
so it moves pretty quickly. It moves 50 feet up. Again, just the blade just seems to be cutting into the walls and the stone as it's moving up. And both of your actions trigger within, yours a 20, I don't know what you were waiting for, range 30?
30, yeah.
30, okay. So yours will go first.
Okay. 18?
18 will hit.
All right. That will be 1d12 for 9 damage.
Okay.
nice.
Lightning.
Zap.
Do. I think there'd be a little.
Both of those landed on the dog, and she just looked up for a second like, dude.
Drop both fucking misses.
She was like, stop.
I'm sorry, what was the damage?
Anybody remember?
9.
9. Okay.
She said 9 with such 9.
9.
It's definitely 9.
9. All right, so he just puts his hand out and just, again, you just see the stone. Roll.
Oh god.
Fireball.
If it's a 1, I will.
Fireball.
Oh! and just kind of like lightning just starts dancing. And again, it always seems to be following the white marble.
The pattern.
And it just seems to be dancing along it, and then just focus it. And he just pushes it out. There's no secondary effects this time, but the lightning hits it and hits it dead center. And you can see the lightning just sparking up around with these blades,
Cool.
making just flashing lights and almost kind of like it's a dizzying effect of lights as it's cascading through.
Very cool.
Definitely affects it.
Hey, don't forget that you can invoke your Tides of Chaos to roll attack rolls with advantage. But it also gives Jeff the ability to come back and...
Basically, if you do that, it's you roll. It's a 50-50 chance that it'll trigger your wild magic every time you do it. So that's it.
Yep.
All right,
And that was it cast at first level. Because remember, you can cast these at higher level for more damage.
Yeah, it was against first.
Okay.
All right, chucking a hand axe at this thing.
Okay.
Well, it's an 11.
Again, you're going for the center, and the light from his lightning is kind of like disorienting you a little bit, and it just goes far to the right of where the
After
center
the mist, he'll pick up the big anchor.
Alright. And then when it gets to 50, it flings a sword out of the effect. And it's going to let you. For a 10.
No.
And a long sword, and it looks like they're all long swords. It just comes flying out of it at breakneck speed, and goes about that far into the stone.
I'll just be...
Just
Nice.
that's it for range attack. So top of the round, toll.
Keep on bolting.
Okay, yeah, you could just basically just roll damage.
Bolton makes me feel good.
Bolton, 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 Bolton.
So I don't have to roll to hit again.
No,
No,
as long as
you
you
just
don't-
keep it.
as long as it stays within, I think 60. I think at this
I
point.
think it's 30. I think
Is
it's
it 30?
if it never leaves the range.
30, yeah. I mean, you can't.
Yeah,
doesn't
Witch
look
Bolt
like
is
it's gonna
great.
leave the range.
Which bolt is awesome at low levels, man. I love
And
it.
I can still move and back up and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I
But
think
it is concentration.
yeah. I think I'd move up again with my back against the wall, just feeling like I'm pushing harder at it. For 2.
Okay. All right. So you just concentrate on it, and again, it's hitting that sphere, but some of it seems to be like shunting the energy around it, like maybe it's shielded. It's doing full damage. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. Barrels.
Okay.
You want to take a short rest?
Yeah, definitely.
Night.
Is that when that spear comes back?
Yeah, because it's 2 of his points to use.
Oh yeah, 2 key.
I mean, so where the wall is thin, can I excavate with elemental attunement?
Does it say shape?
I thought so, but let me confirm. I'm gonna go in there right now. Okay. Create harmless, instantaneous sensory effect related to air, earth, fire, or water, such as a shower, sparks, puff of wind, spray of mist, or gentle rumbling stone. Light or snuff a candle, chill or warm something. Cause earth, fire, water, or mist that can fit within a 1-foot cube to shape itself into a crude form you designate for
So, yeah.
1 minute.
Because remember, I modified his attunement so that it also affects metal and stone.
Right.
It doesn't affect wind.
It doesn't affect wind. The wind traded for the metal,
Yeah.
but I think the stone was there. All right, so where it's weakest, I'm gonna spend my action.
Okay. Yeah,
Starting to-
you
Cool.
basically Grim, you're kind of standing. You kind of look over your shoulder, and he's just like focusing, and you can just see like the stone almost like starts dissipating,
Cool.
and kind of like it almost starts to encase your hands, and you just shake it off, and like it's still there, like you haven't destroyed or changed
Yeah,
anything,
right.
but it just falls to the ground in kind of like a heap, and now there's a square that someone could fit through to the other side if they wanted to.
Not me.
I'll keep. I'll think about myself for a second, but I'll be like, Tolbar, I think you can fit through this one. I'm gonna keep working on ours.
Yeah, so the two of you, it would be difficult terrain to go through. It'll be double movement to go through it. You can just, if you make that noise. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, look at you.
And it's coming at us closer.
Looks like
still.
it's just going to basically consume you all.
Then I'm going to spend my last key point to take the dodge action as my bonus action.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nice. Good.
All right, man.
10 feet in front of you.
I think in a rage, he's gonna leap in and try to swing at that center.
Okay.
Just swinging as he comes in. I'm even gonna go reckless, my dude.
All right.
Am I dead? Oh yeah!
Nice.
All right, so I double and then add one because of orc.
Or
And you
Right.
can re-roll all of these.
All of them. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Any ones and twos that come up
Yeah.
because they're all weapon damage.
Yep. Oh, wow. 3 ones, a 5, and a 6. No, I'm
That's
saying.
16. That would be
shit.
22. So 25 damage as he's like just swinging the anchor down. Swords. It's all over it, I imagine.
All right, well, you come in, and basically the anchor almost kind of cuts a path through the swords.
Yeah.
It's not like they are so dense that you can't get through them.
Right.
They're just swirling around, and there's probably maybe 15 or so of them.
Right.
And you just kind of dodge under it. You're using the anchor to kind of block others, and you just slam it down into the device, and it just goes and bends, and you see the thing kind of stutter for a second. The blades almost seem to be going in a slower rate.
Cool. Well, that's me.
Okay. It's go. So I'm just going to roll to see who it isn't attacking, which is you. So the two of you, it has advantage on you.
Yep. Sure does.
First, that is a 16.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, actually, you just reduced its damage. So, I'll just have this. So, yeah, it tapped again, so, 7. And then you have it again. And then you.
Oh, I have it from 7 again?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because, I know, it's just the mechanics of swarms. Once they get to a certain hit point, they do less damage.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it's at disadvantage on you. And that is a 15.
I'm a 16.
Yep, and it misses.
So, as I'm moving stone, I'll do one other glance of seeing that sword, and I'll quickly just touch that sword so that the metal straight
Yep.
blocks as I'm still trying to move the stone.
And it's all around you, so it actually is. It's not obscured, but it's just difficult for all of you to see.
Yeah.
Tobar. Just doing damage.
I think I'd look at the hole that was made for me and then look at you and where do you have all the things you stole? I like to think I see a piece of something sticking out, and that's what makes me change my mind about leaving.
Yeah, I have tomes and scrolls stuffed in, along with there's the bottles
That you're hoping don't break.
So I look at my escape
They're
option.
made of metal.
Oh, good.
I look at my escape option, then I look at all the things that you have, and I don't. So I'm like, all right, I'll help.
You think twice about it.
And then I will roll that damage. Roll that beautiful damage for each.
Hey, what were the potions again? What kind?
Greater
Were they
than
greater?
yours. Yeah.
Greater
They were
healing?
greater. Yeah.
Ooh, good. 6.
Okay.
Where? How far away is it from me now?
It's all around you.
Oh.
It's in all of your spaces.
DHX.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll. It's seeming like we're diminishing it. I assume.
It's slowing down.
Okay.
So, yeah. You're up.
Okay, I guess I'll be like, oh, is nobody leaving?
You're like, really? But there's a party that's like, huh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Most people leave.
I'm like, well, all right, partners. I'll just let that go. and I will. Is the sphere? Am I able to, like melee attack it?
Yeah.
Like it's at a height.
But again, it's you know, the passage is like 8 feet tall total, and it's hovering in the center. It doesn't look like it can move away from that center point for too long.
Gotcha.
Like it seems to be kind of pulled back to that
Cool.
center.
All right, then I will run through the swords and I will attack the sphere with
Okay.
my hands.
All right.
All right, here's my attack action. That would be a 16.
It's
Okay. Where are my dogs at? All right, that's 4 damage.
Potions.
And then I will just punch with my bonus action as well. Yep, that is a 20 for 5 more damage.
all right. All right, so it's where are we at? It's kind of sparking. You get up close, and again, one of the things that they teach you is, and your ability to manipulate stone and metal is sometimes when you have to hit objects that are very hard, you'll pull stone and metal sometimes around you and kind of encase your hand just for a second.
Just knuckles.
Yeah, and just like maybe like a part of a gauntlet, maybe with spikes come out of the top.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Sick. Straight up Wolverine dogs.
Well, like a nubby Wolverine.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like a growing Wolverine.
I'm like Wolverine.
All right, so 2. Gun.
All right, I think he'll just swing the anchor around again and come in for another one. The old reckless. That would be a 15, my dude.
15 hits.
Sweet. Would be 13 damage. So.
All right, with one final swing, you collapse in the center, and it just, and the sword's just, and it just falls down to the ground. You're still pushing lightning into it.
A little too long.
And you can see like gears and things like that on the inside, and just kind of
grinding.
sparking, and it's smoking, and it's like it's trying to gear, and you've just annihilated. And finally, it just stops.
I think Gun will end his rage, lean on his anchor. Just,
You know what these things are. They don't act autonomously.
Yep.
Right? They have to know exactly where they're going.
yeah, hold on though, before you say something. This whole time, I'm swinging around, getting all sweaty and tired out, and you could have just made that stone open up a hole.
It only stays for a minute.
And he couldn't have affected as deep as you.
The fact
He had
is,
to wait till you burrowed farther in.
I couldn't have been doing it the whole time, but yeah, once you got close, I could have. And I can hold it for you now. You're so close. I'll let you bang around the rest of it.
All right.
You didn't think I'd leave you, did you? Like, pat you on your goods, stolen goods.
On the goods. Checking the weight.
Shake the bag.
I would
He's
leave
not
you.
looking at you. He's looking at the pack. I wouldn't leave you.
Would I?
Like, look, I'm impressed that you didn't, even if you're just staying because I'm the one who knows how to read the tomes. Plus, I knew we'd make it. I got me lucky egg.
He pulls out this.
It's a like an extra large egg, but it's all red. It's like a bright red.
Is it cage free though?
So, as far as he knows.
Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna roll for a trinket right now. Well, in the next minute or two, because I forgot.
I'm like, one. Guys, that was amazing. The lightning, incredible. That anchor, and you just. That was magic coming at you.
Yeah,
Alchemy,
okay.
really.
It chose me.
A bit concerning at this point.
It's impressive. However, bad news is, those things don't just move on their own autonomously. They have to be directed by somebody.
Right, they have to be directed.
Which means they would have to know where you are to do something like that.
Which means that they know where we are right now.
Or where you were supposed to be.
Where I was supposed to be. from what I know of Black Rat.
Oh, he would betray you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you literally told him everything. And you realize now, you basically told him they were all looking for him. He probably sold you out.
Fucker, you try to do something nice.
Oh.
I mean, goddamn Jerome, he sold us out.
Jerome.
That's Black Rat's name. And everybody...
Jerome.
His name's Jerome Powbody.
What? Pow body.
And you know what?
That's funny.
I'm gonna write a letter to every place I can within the prelacy as soon as we get out of here, and everyone's gonna know what Jerome's feckin' name is.
You also suspect he didn't think you could get through that wall.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking we get through this wall real quick.
All right, reckon we could wriggle through, but you might have to open it a bit to get the anchor out.
I can do it. It'll last for a minute, so I can do a bunch. I can do it right now. You've broken through enough.
All right, I think I'm ready. I'll go first, see what's on the other side.
I like that idea.
Me too.
All right. Well, you
Me too. I wouldn't have suggested
push your way
otherwise.
through using your ability.
I'll
to
just...
manipulating the stone. It is pretty impressive to see, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And you forget that you were angry about him not doing it earlier.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's already gone.
That's already gone. You don't, that shit doesn't stay with you. And you guys make your way through the tunnels and make your way out of the city. We're going to stop there. As you kind of look back and think, you know somebody. That port.
Gang, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a couple guys too. Some ladies
don't.
as well. Me mums and me grandmas.
You probably don't those now. And then it starts to go on another path.
As we walk into the sunset, I'm like, Barrows, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely anything.
You ever seen two skeletons?
I've seen two skeletons, yeah?
Do you think skeletons can do things to make new skeletons? I've been thinking about that a lot.
Speechless.
Turned to tall bar. You know what?
Let's find out.
Let's find out together.
All right.
Scene.
The very last episode that we do, we better find out how skeletons
Yeah,
make
you
baby skeletons.
A skeleton woman laying in a hospital bed.
Her husband's paying for it with other bones.
Bones are their money.
Oh my god.
Yep. That was fun, man.
Dude,
Yeah, I
thank
loved
you,
it.
man.
Loved it.
I'm feeling it, y'all.
Yeah. So next week we'll get to the city, and I will tell you there's a lot to do in the city. In fact, you will actually have immediate downtime
Cool.
in the city, and they have special rules for downtime in that city.
Gotcha. Do you want an NPC toll booth or?
Oh,
No.
Next
We'll wait.
time. You mean the one after?
So,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
next
I
session.
apologize. So
Next
yes,
session,
correct.
next
So
session. Got it.
next week we will be off.
Yep.
Because Andrew betrayed us. And then we'll be
Great
back
term.
the week after. So, and actually that I totally forgot about because that gives another natural pause to
Yeah.
the campaigns that other people can watch other Salt
Cool.
Marsh.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. I loved it. Let's go launch a raid here to end it out. Thanks everyone
Yeah,
for
thanks,
hanging out
Jeff.
with us. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Jeff. That was really fun.
Yeah.